from build and deployment testing purpose, we are using here in Docker, Jenkins, and currently I am associated with one of the project in which we are converting one application from monolith to microservices. For that deployment purpose, we are using AWS infrastructure for the deployment. Yep.
Okay. Then, which version of JDK have you worked on?
Java 1.8. So since the starting of my career, I've been associated with Java 1.8 projects only. The projects which we are using only Java 1.8.
Okay. You aware of any differences between version 7 and 8, or what was better in 8?
Yes. So there are many improvement Java developers has introduced in Java 1.8. So if I talk about like functional programming, so Java used to be a object-oriented programming before, but now you can write some functional code as well, and with the use of lambdas. Okay, and then we have this what we call method references we can use, and then apart from that, if I recall correctly, in comparator interface, they have introduced some methods which are very useful when you are working with collections. So earlier in comparator interface, we have used to have only two methods, I believe. Now with they have like 18 static methods which are very useful comparing with the objects. And date time API they have improved. Earlier there was no time API for the complete time API, but now they have date time Joda API. And then apart from that, streams are like very useful for when you have bulk data set. So streams methods are very useful, and we are working. We are using these features in our projects.
Okay. What's the difference between Spring and Spring Boot?
Spring Boot is actually a framework which can be used for I would say a rapid application development. So with the application, we are working with microservices. We are using Spring Boot only. Spring is a framework which introduce a dependency injection concept. Okay, and Spring Boot is also a framework which actually removed a lot of boilerplate code. I would say a lot of configuration that developer used to do in Spring. But in Spring Boot, developer will not focus more on the configuration, rather than he will focus on the development part. So if you see from spring.io, we download the skeleton of project, and then we just run it without writing a single code. We are able to run because it have Tomcat inside it. Tomcat dependency also is there. So without writing a code, you can run the program without doing anything. It will configure anything. And now you have to focus only on the business part. Just write your code and just run it. So that's the beauty of Spring Boot. In Spring also, Spring is popular for dependency and IOC concepts.
Okay. Yeah. What are the different annotations you have used in Spring Boot?
So like the very first annotation is Spring Boot application, and while writing we have used the @REST controller. For writing methods, we are using REST get mapping and put delete. These are some annotation I can recall.
Okay. What is @AutoWire used for?
Yeah, so AutoWire is used for the dependency injection only. So when you write @AutoWire, Spring Boot, Spring will search that bean into the container and provide you the dependency for that class at the runtime.
Okay. What is Hibernate?
Hibernate is a very popular ORM tool for relational mapping to map the Java object to the database. So in our project we are using Spring Data JPA, which is built on top of Hibernate only. So this is very popular too. Earlier we used to write JDBC, in which we used to write a query but Hibernate removes a lot of boilerplate, configuration, and obviously configuration we have to do, but yeah, query on the query part, like for the CRUD operation, Hibernate provides you the basic CRUD operation features, which you don't have to map or write query to save the database. You just need to write the object and Java code, and Hibernate takes the responsibility to convert it into the database object and save it into the database and persist into the database.
Okay. How are microservices different from web services?
Microservices, actually, web services you have you may have UI. In microservices also you can have UI, but microservices are independent. They can run independently, and there are many microservices which can talk to each other and provide you some data, right? In web services, you have you have a web UI. It will run on the web. Like you have a URL and you will hit the URL and it will give you output in the form of a web page, I would say. And that's not necessary in the case of microservices. They can work in the backend.
Okay.
So web services also can be work in the backend. So can you please more elaborate the difference?
So, like in web services, I would say I can think like these two differences only. I'm not able to,
No
the
worries.
differences.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so in Java 8 you said that functional programming there is a lambda expression is there. Okay,
Yes.
so what is the use of lambda expression? Why we use it? We were happy with Java 7 previous version side.
Sure.
So why we are using that?
Yes. So, like I said, Java 8 enabled the functional programming to write. So, how we write the functional programming? So, suppose we have the functional interface. So, if we write to implement the functional interface, we can implement easily by using lambdas. So, earlier, suppose
No. My question is not how to. My question why we need that.
Using lambdas, we can write a short and concise code. So, I will take an example of anonymous class. When you implement the anonymous class, you have to write the code for whole anonymous class, and you have to write the code for the exception handling or as well. Lambda is like you can define, for example, let's I will explain it. Okay, forget all this. Just take it as an example. Earlier, what you used to do, whenever we are trying to write a method, and in method we pass the class object, okay, and in that class, whatever we are passing, some other implementation is written. But now we do not have to write the implementation in other class. We can write the implementation right here. We can name it as a lambda function, and we can pass in that object. So we can pass the action itself in the methods instead of passing the implementation class object where the implementation is written. I hope you are getting.
I got you.
Yes.
Yeah.
So that's the beauty of lambda. I mean, short and concise code, I would say, elegant, better code.
Okay, and so what is the difference between IOC and dependency injection? Is there any difference? First question.
Yes, IOC is the concept. I would say IOC container is the concept. Dependency injection is the implementation of that concept. IOC is like version of control. So earlier we used to provide the dependency to the class developer, but now Spring will take care of it. Spring take the responsibility to create the instance and provide when it is required. And how we are doing it? Using dependency injection, using @autowired annotation, or writing XML configuration, we can do it. So dependency injection is an implementation of IOC concept that is provided by Spring Boot framework. Spring framework, I would say.
Okay. What is @qualifier annotation?
So in Spring Boot, suppose we have written one interface and two implementation of it. So at the rate qualifier will identify that what implementation it has to inject at the runtime. So if there are many implementation, it will inject whatever you have written at the rate qualifier. So you
So if I do not write at qualifier, will I get error?
yes, you will get error. I think Spring will.
Do you know what is that error?
Yeah, I think it will tell you to definition find. I mean, it will clearly write in the console. To definition find for this bean.
The same bean. Okay.
Yeah. I cannot exactly remember the what error, but yeah, something like that.
That's fine. That's fine. Okay, so I have some annotations written in my class. Okay, I want to exclude some particular type of annotation. So how I can exclude that?
Annotation you are asking?
No, suppose I have the component scan and enable auto configuration, for example, that annotation.
So we have this
I want to exclude some of the classes from that scan or yeah.
So we have this exclude exclude name in the at the rate component scan. We can provide the at the rate exclude. Then it will not scan the package, scan the class. It will exclude the class.
And is there any order in? I mean, it scans the class or just randomly it will?
No, it first scan the classes which are present in the package in which the main class is defined.
Okay. What is the use of actuator?
Actuators is mainly like it is a very good feature provided by Spring Boot to monitor the health, like and what memory and what other parameters you can use at the rate at runtime. So suppose how JVM is running, your application is running or not, and what is how your application health, what about your application health. So there are some endpoints provided by Spring Boot. By using that you can measure the health and other components related to application, like how much memory JVM is using.
Okay, it is a metric to just judge the health or performance the application.
Yes.
Okay, that's fine.
Monitor.
Okay. Next question is, so in your Spring Boot project, so how do you achieve the security? Suppose you work in microservices, right?
Right.
So how do you achieve the security in microservices?
So we are using here in Spring Boot, Spring security starter, and with that we are using JWT authorization. Okay,
so JWT authorization. That token based, right?
Yes. So first we will validate the username and password, and once it is validated successfully, they will generate a token, and then we will give this token to the client, and then in the further request we will use that token in the header to authorize the user.
Okay. Suppose I want to test the token. Okay, I mean I want to test my REST controller. Okay, and I need to test integration tests, for example. I don't need to test unit testing. Okay. So how will I test that? I want to use token as well. I want to use proper method. I'm generating token and embedding the token to the headers and then hitting the endpoints and all. So in testing, how will I achieve that?
If I get you correctly, actually we in our project we actually use this Open UI Swagger for the testing.
Swagger, yeah, Swagger is correct. But I want to, end-to-end testing I'm asking about. Where I'm generating token as well, I'm hitting the controller as well. And all.
I actually on that part I have not worked, but for the testing we use like for MVC we are using mock MVC for writing the test cases to test our endpoints. But in security purpose,
mock MVC, mock MVC or Mockito? I think you are also
Mock
Mockito,
MVC
right?
for Mockito to mock the object, but mock MVC to mock, I mean, the controller methods. For that, we are
Okay.
using mock MVC.
Framework is Mockito, right?
Yes.
Okay. I'm done, Sachin.
Thanks, Ajay. Yeah, Mansu, that's all I have. You have anything else to add, Mansu?
Nothing else. Okay, just focus on one side, okay? Any particular thing you want to add on the domain or the which you have worked? I mean, mainly about the recent projects, right?
Sorry,
Just want to know on the domain. Yeah, I mean,
is that question is
the
for
project, right? Yeah, yeah,
me?
yeah. No, no,
Yeah.
no, not nothing related to technical. I just want to know like the most recent project, right, or whatever you're currently working on. What's the domain?
Okay. It's actually a retail domain.
Okay.
The project. Sorry. Actually, I have a cold, so sometimes I'm coughing right now, so I'm sorry for that.
No, 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 that's okay.
Yeah.
I think we are good, Sachin. Maybe we can wrap the call. Okay.
Sure.
Thanks.
Thank,
Okay, yeah.
thank you.
Maybe
Thanks,
you
Priyanka.
can try connecting for the 3:30 call. Okay. I mean that is that and this is not related. Okay. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay. Thanks for your time. Yeah. You
Thank
have
you.
a
Thank
good
you.
day.
Nice.
Yeah.
Have a